Hey guys, Matty, it's the Broken Supercoach checking in. A little bit hoarse today. We had a show last night with the wrestling crew, so I'm pretty hoarse, but that's why the video's late. But we'll go through the Supercoach video, go through how we went. Decent week, 24-43. Happy with that, I guess. There were some gigantic scores this week through some pretty gigantic players in Stewart, Gawn. Guys that we don't have, of course. Stewart, Gawn, guys like that. So we took a terrible captain, so I'll take 24-43. Yeah, I didn't learn from my... I'm pretty strong on my captain rules, and we'll show that soon, and I just failed that as well. So that's okay. We went up 5K. We're back into the 30s, but this number to me is just junk. If it's 40, if it's 30, if it's 20, junk. So... it's all good. It's a long way to climb back, but we're making some big moves now. I know it's, I went simple at the start of the year, and that sort of cost me. So it seems like the old rules of Supercoach are sort of are biting you. If you went simple, if you went safe, that's biting you. So I'm thinking aggressive trading this year is probably the way to go. You need to grab guys before they get out of control. So, if you didn't watch, I went Oliver and Sicily last week. Did I go? I think I went Sicily. Yeah. Oliver and Sicily last week, and Hayes. So we'll get to Hayes in a minute. But yeah, Oliver and Sicily, quite nice ins. And before we go through the lines, yeah, I vice-captained Oliver and got greedy and felt McCragen against Essendon was going to be an absolute win. But, and this is why I say on this channel, I say it quite often, his last, they don't show it anymore, but his last three against Essendon were like, 120 was his lowest, and I think he had a 140. And if you're really thinking about it, are you seriously going to give up a 119 vice-captain score? For what? What was McRae going to get realistically? He's averaging 122. It was like 125 at the time, 127 maybe. Like, what was he going to do? 125? 130? We're talking 20 points for the risk of losing, or in this case, we lose like 40, 50 points. So, really silly move. Should have just taken Oliver. And that's besides saying I could have captained Neil, I could have captained Took, I could have captained Cripps. So, whatever. We learn. Well, I mean, we don't learn because we already knew the lesson, but sometimes the lesson needs to be taught again if you don't pay attention to it. So that's cool. No stress there. So here's the guys. The line, obviously Sicily was great. Hewitt was the laid out. I didn't get to cover that in the video, but mate, there were so many laid outs. I just figured, forget it. Is that too zoomed? What do you reckon? This much zoom? Yeah, whatever. I had the cover. I had to do a fair bit of shuffling. I decided what I would do was, I had McCartan on because I thought I might want to use him as a captain, and then Gibcus was 79, so he's come good for us. So we had the Gibcus on field. O'Driscoll 57. We just had to take it. That's a lowish score, 2 in a row for him now. I know a lot of people are trading him out. Maybe the roles changed. I think we just have to keep him based on how little options we have in defense. We just need the coverage because Hewitt will be back. I don't know if McCartan comes back. I just think if he does, then sure, he comes straight back on. Ideally, we get this man off field. Probably, we might even field. Gibcus looks like he has a new role, and I've been meaning to watch Essendon. Maybe there was just big points against West Coast. Whatever. So that's that there. Mids, yeah, outside. We captained the worst possible option. And I mean worst possible option because every other mid went absolutely bananas. And this bloke went 89. So he's now leaked 50,000 points. But what can you do? Everyone started him. He's good. CBAs are way down. I think it was 55%, 60%. CBA, so he's got a different role at the moment, and he just seems incapable of finding the footy if he doesn't have CBA, so that's really frustrating, but It's okay. We'll just stop captaining him. Looks like Took's back. That's cool. But this week there's a clear captain, and you get to vice basically anyone in your team. So there's a clear captain option in Crips this week against the Crows Sunday night. So but that's right. That's right. Yeah, Took looked terrible in the first quarter, but Collingwood seemed to do this. They'll tag a guy with Pendlebury for 1 quarter. So I don't know if that's what happened. I didn't see the game, but I was checking the scores, and I assumed that somebody was running with Took, or he was just playing bad. And then next minute I looked, and he's on 160. So cool, great. Yeah, Oliver was good. Petrarca, love that. So some of our recent recruits have been really good, and that's how we're clawing back these rankings. Our recent trading, which has been good, and we need to be good on the trades. I know that we had English, but from here on out, we've got to be good with the trades, or else, we're going to regret this, and we're going to have trouble. We're going to have trouble clawing our way back. So that's all right. We've got this here. We kept Rochelle. We kept Horn Francis. They leaked a bit of money each. He leaked 10K. Rochelle leaked, 17K. 88K. I don't know. We just had to do it because we needed bodies on field. So it was what it was. Like we had to, in order to do what we had to do to get Sicily, I wanted Oliver bad. We just had to keep Rochelle. And, we banked on him maybe kicking a bag. He didn't. He got 46. That was probably more than he deserved. And McDonald's still making us cash. 80. Whatever. It's a dud pick, and we've had this here for the whole time. But we'll be able to use him as a loop this week, which is nice. Which, when you see my trades, I won't need it. But whatever. Bruce in the ruck looks really good. He looks like R2 at the moment, which is really crazy to think that he could be R2. The scary thing about Bruce is he went off quite late. I think they were just resting him because they were up by, 40, 50, was it, at the end? So I think they just took him off and sat him down. No big deal. And this, Hayes drops his worst score once everyone trades him in, when everyone needs him. Thanks, mate. Just got schooled by a better ruckman. Made 67,000. Yeah, he's got a decent run, but it's a run of experienced. It's in Cairns, so he might have struggled in a non-AFL ground. We've just got to put up with it, really, and hope that these two are all right. We don't have any other choices. I hope that these two can just play. Lysette's out for ages. Bruce is their number one ruckman. He looked awesome against the Crows. He looks so good. So hopefully these two can just play, because we are nowhere near Gawn, and we won't be for quite a while. So ideally it's Gawn and Bruce with, maybe Bailey Williams as the cover, maybe Sam Hayes as the cover. Ideally, that's what we're going to do, but how we're going to get money for Gawn, I don't know. And honestly, I haven't thought about it. And based on what we've seen, we might even use English as our other ruck and just don't go Gawn, maybe. Or go Gawn English, maybe, and cash out Bruce and Hayes. I don't know. It's something to think about. Williams is out injured. What are we looking at here? I'm trying to hover this. It's not giving me anything. TBA, all right, whatever. He's their preferred ruck outside of Nick Nat, and he actually is preferred when Nick Nat is playing. So hopefully he comes back and keeps making us money. But at the moment, his break-even's 20 higher than his average. So this has been a dud pick. So great. Maybe you can work out how to be a ruck pretty soon. So sorry guys, I had to do a quick pause there. Yeah, we got, and the forward. So yeah, English is now listed as, we just have to hold him. We've committed to 2 weeks. Yeah, expected to be available around 10, 11. That's just horrendous. But we're not trading him. He's just going to be the most expensive bloke that we can't even loop. 572. He plays the first game of the week. So, all good. We're just holding him because he is the best. He's going to be F1, if not F2. And he's probably R2. So we just have to put up with it. We've committed to 2 weeks now. You can't trade him now. Even though he's 3 weeks away still. We just don't have... You're going to be trying to get him back in. We'll see how we feel about it. Excuse me. These forwards are good. One thing I wanted to talk about this week was we fielded De Koning. Really happy with his score. Well done, lad. Thanks for coming in here. One thing that's interesting here is Nick Martin is now averaging 91. And we've said for a long time that Brodie's a keeper, Butters is a keeper. And if Butters is a keeper at 91, then isn't Martin a keeper at 91 as well? It's just an interesting thing to think about. So we may never trade Martin. He's super handy coverage for this position where you can just throw him. You can have him cover M8. You can have him cover F6 or F5 in my case. So yeah, I really like Martin. I don't think I'm going to trade Martin. And I know I said that about a lot of guys, but does he run out of legs by the end? Maybe. But I really like this pick. And if we're not trading Butters, then we're certainly not trading Martin at this stage. Canelio didn't attend any centre bounces, so that's a concern. We've made 180k off him. That's great. And look, we've just got other things to worry about, if I'm being honest. 98 average is really nice in your forward line. We're just going to keep a hold of him. And this looks like an absolute genius pick now, holding Rosas. And it's a bit frustrating because a lot of people would have just fell into holding Rosas because they didn't notice he was a laid out last week. But anyone who actively adjusted that to Hobbs, that's a clear mistake now. Hobbs scored 13, probably gets dropped this week. So it's frustrating because deliberately holding on to Rosas is a good move. It was a good move. It's just that you had to actively do it. You had to actively get out of Rosas. So it's only the people who made an action on Rosas who pay. I just wish more people had jumped off of Rosas because holding him was a good pick. And it's a good lesson. So what are we going to do this week, trades-wise? Hopefully Hewitt's back. It's a calf. He was a late out, so hopefully he comes back and we can keep this short up. We've still got Gibkis who can field us as well. I don't think we're going to do anything with this. Oh, I want to talk about Ridley. Ridley looks good. He looks back, so I'm really happy with this. And the other one was short played midfield, which is wild. So hopefully he does it again. I think it's weird because you can, if you look at the break-evens, you can actually hold Horne-Francis again, which is really crazy to think that he's actually holdable after you should have traded him 2 weeks ago. So we've held on to him for so long that it's not a big concern. The issue is that he's got money under him that I want. So there's two choices to make. You could do O'Driscoll, and I don't like doing O'Driscoll because there's just no defense options that I like the look of. And I know who I want. I spoke about him last week, Parker. So I was either going to go Sicily or Parker, and my concern was that Sicily was going to be too hard. He went up 20k. My concern was that he was going to be too hard to chase at 550. And then I think we needed it for the defense coverage, if I remember rightly. Yeah, because we had Hewitt and McCartan on the bench. We had to have a playing defender. So it did itself. The Sicily trade had to get him in, or else we're playing a 0 in defense. As it happened, Parker scored 150. So we did bleed 80 points. Well, not really, because we would have played 116 points. So it was the right call to not go Parker, as crazy as that sounds. We actually didn't lose anything by not going Parker because Sicily scored 116 over the 0. So it sounds weird I'm comparing taking the 0 to not, but we did it. So this week, as weird as it sounds, Rochelli's got to go, and I know that it's a terrible time to trade him, but he looks like he's gone really quiet. And I just need the money out of Horne-Francis. He's been really good, real good stalwart, but I need his money, and it's the only guy I can do. I'm not trading Martin and O'Driscoll. I just can't. There's no option for O'Driscoll if he's a defender for me. So I suppose I could send De Koning back. So let's try. I mean, realistically, it's going to be this: Horne-Francis, 654 available. We'll take McComb. I know a lot of people are going early on Greg Clark, and I don't mind that at all, but I don't like going early on rookies at all. It's just never been a thing I like to do. And I like Robbie McComb. He's 100K. I think he's going to be a very nice bench option. So, and I'm not trading for field anymore. Any rookies I'm trading in now are not playing on field, so I don't care. Greg Clark's not going to play on field for me ever because Nick Martin sits up here. And then we run Parker. So let's grab him, and we'll show you how that looks. Luke Parker. So that looks really nice. When English comes back, that's our 6 forwards sorted. Unless we put English in the rucks, and then I need one more forward. But I don't think we do. I think we just sit with Bruce here. We're looking for Gawn in this position, which I don't know how I'm doing it, but we're looking for Gawn. 6 forwards sorted. Defense is still a bit of a mess. And the mids, you can sit on this midfield combo for quite a while, especially with Clark next week. So it's you're probably looking for an option here somewhere. And then you've got Martin, Clark, Butters, a bunch of guys that you can sort of choose to loop through. So I don't mind that choice. The other one is if I hold Horn Francis. Yeah, I might need to cancel. Sorry, guys. The other one is if I hold Horn Francis. So let's say I go Rochelle. And we go... Who was it? O'Driscoll. And then we send DeConning back up. Yeah, and you can do the same move, can't you? You can do Parker and Clark, and then you're just fielding Horn Francis. The forward line looks nicer because because I've got English who's not playing. You field Martin here and you field Horn Francis here, and you're still able to loop McCartan through with DeConning and Gibcus, so it's not a big deal. And I think O'Driscoll does look dangerous as a time to go. So one thing I wanted to check, and I'll check it soon, is when O'Driscoll's bye is. But we'll just go, again, same plays. One thing I hadn't looked at was there's no defense rookies again. So there's just never any. Skinner's the only one. Don't trust that one bit. Mountford's never coming back. Generic made-up player. Not convinced he ever existed. There's just none. Ben Miller was last week. Should we have gone in? No, he didn't even play. No. Tom Wilson, too expensive. Zach Reed, too expensive. None are coming. Jordan Boyd, yeah, only played 3 games. Perez was probably the one. So the big brain move to be would have been, instead of Rosas, found a way to get Perez onto your defense bench. But I don't know how you would have done it because none of these guys were worth trading just yet. O'Driscoll wasn't worth trading just yet. If you had the foresight to go McCardum to Perez, that was probably the right call. But I don't know. You would have been a genius if you made that play. So, truth be told, we've just got nothing on offer in defense, and we never will we? So that's good to know. Yeah, so we go McComb again. Sits on the bench. Could we even look with Saligo playing Sunday? Could we even just play the 3 against each other? Maybe. Probably just field Horn Francis if I'm being that honest. So again, DeConning sends himself back up, and we just go grab Luke Parker again. So then that forward line looks like this. Martin to cover English for a couple of weeks, and then we just play these 3 against each other for a period of time. We don't really have any choice with that. So that's probably what I'll do, actually. I think O'Driscoll probably does go because I don't think he loses money, but I just think Horn Francis is a nice enough hold. And that's that. Does that get us any closer to Gawn? No. How am I going to get Gawn? Don't ask. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. So this week, clear captain is Cripps, which means you can, and because I've got Saligo, unless somehow he gets named as sub, I can basically loop anyone I want. When Sydney plays Saturday, because McCarter may not play. If Bailey Williams doesn't play, I've got him. I've got English is not a loop, so that's frustrating. Who would you VC? You probably feel pretty good about VCing Oliver again on the Sunday. You probably feel pretty good about VCing Neil against West Coast, or even captaining Neil against West Coast. Just having a look through some other lines for anyone. Early game, if you've got early games, I wouldn't touch McRae at the moment, but you probably feel good about VCing Dunkley on Friday night. Or VCing, if you got Parker or Heaney, VCing them against Gold Coast. So there's plenty of captain options at the moment. Gawn against Ryder, maybe not. If you have Gawn, you could probably captain Gawn. But I would be captaining Cripps and probably committing to that captaincy. And I've got the luxury, unless Saligo's made some sort of miracle to get in the Crows team, I think, which he actually might, come to think of, with all the injuries they've got. I've got the Sunday last game loop. So, and we're just hoping that Hewitt gets picked, but big deal. We can play these three against each other. No loop, but we can just sort out who we want on. We can play these three against each other through Saligo. Sorry, these three. And then our forward's looking nice. So that's the team. I'm actually pretty happy with that. Yeah, we missed 40k on Parker. So it was a 20k mistake. But like I said, we had a 0 if we didn't run Sicily in defense. So that's the tech today. Let us know how you went. 20 trades, not ideal, but this team's starting to look really good. Just before we go, let's count them. 4 primos in defense. So next week it's Dawson. We'll try to get Dawson. We probably can't afford it, but we'll try to get Dawson here somehow through... probably don't have an avenue to get to him. Maybe through Dacos somehow. Because we want to get Clark in somehow as well. So perhaps it's Horn Francis to Clark, and then perhaps it's Dacos into Dawson. So that's perhaps what we do there. I think Dawson's prime. He'll probably drop below 500, and that's an absolute steal. And then we've got one more spot, which we can take a look at there. I don't know who it is. I hate to think that it's Chris. It's probably Doherty or Sinclair. In the mids, that's 8 mids. Oh, sorry. 7 mids. Who's the last one? Keys, Walsh. I don't know. Keys or Walsh, probably the last one here. I've said his name so many times, I don't know how to get him, but it's going to be Gawn here. And 6 forwards already sorted because English is our guy here. And if I'm being honest, we now have the option of moving English into the rucks and being able to cash out Proust, because I think Martin's a keeper. So that's our 6 forwards sorted with Martin as handy coverage. Now, could I use Martin at M8? Or could I even just have the luxury of cashing Martin out now to get some cheeky extra mid here? Or to really turn up and get Stewart or Doherty, really turn up the money. So we're a luxury holding English, because that means that we can get another expensive player by cashing out one that people are going to keep. Martin, Bruce, these are not guys that normal people are going to trade, so I might. Yeah, cheers. Thanks for watching, guys. Give us a like. Really enjoy the support. Really enjoy the interaction in the chat. I'll chat to you guys when teams drop.